Okay, Happy New Year's, guys. I know it's been, what is it, the 5th now? So it's already been quite a few days since the start of the new year, but this is the first video I'm doing to begin it. And you'll have to excuse me, I'm dealing with some kind of cold or something. We're all getting something this time of year, right, when it gets colder. So let me try to go through this as quick as I can. I think you're really going to enjoy this one because I'm going to go over the current market and where we're headed to, and show you some ways that you can get into plays early, and show you some of the ones we're looking at. And we'll also look at Nansen, so stick around for the whole video. I'll try to timestamp everything like I usually do. Again, this is, none of this is financial advice. I'm just going through some things that I am personally trading, or, things I'm seeing in Nansen, or, whatever else. And before we get started, also, number one, you may want to follow me on Twitter at Bike for Sale. I think most of you are. I have been posting a lot of plays here. Many of them have returned at least 2x. I think every one of them have done at least a 2x. And yeah, some of them may have reversed at that point. But, I'm going to show you how you can keep some of those profits instead of losing it, round tripping your whole bag. Even on these degen plays that just show up one day and they're gone the next. If you're interested in our Discord, we have about 200 members. I do have some alert bots that we've set up for high conviction alerts, for degen plays. We also cover long-term plays. We've done some research on some of the best plays there. So no matter what part of the market that you like to trade, we've got you covered. So if you're interested in that, check the description below, and come join us. See if you want to stick around. I think you'll like it, though. We have a pretty active community, and they all like to help each other. We've got a little degen chat here where we talk and discuss charts and things on degen chat, and then also we talk about long-term plays here as well. So it's a very active community. Let's see. So what I want to show you here. Oh, yeah, so the alert bot here that we have created, and we're working on one that will focus on socials along with smart money, because as you know, that's what I'm all about. You can look right here in my profile, combining smart money and smart socials research. So I use Nansen and I use Moni. Those are two apps that I use. This is what you're seeing, Moni. I've got 30 smart followers that follow me, according to Moni, and I am a smart follower. I'm a researcher, according to Moni. 2 brains is like 1 less than the highest rating you can get. So let's see, what did I want to show you? Oh yeah, so these bots that we've created, they're going 24/7. They're automated channels. And I'm going to show you just a few of the results here at the beginning. If you want to skip ahead, that's fine. But if you're interested in this, if you want to do degen plays that can get a 2x, 10x, some of them have even done 100, 200x within 10 days. And some of them do, many multiples in one day even. So here's some of them. We had one hit, what was it, 7.8 million market cap. That was about a 5x move. Here's a couple that did a 30x, 100x, 40x. Here's a 200x. I thought we had a 100x here somewhere. Oh yeah, there it is right there, 100x. So, this is just a handful of the results we've had. I'm not saying that every single play is going to be good. This is just one little snapshot of a single day. And there were some losers in that day as well. So I would say, if you're interested, or if you're wondering what the win rate is, it's probably between 30 and 50% if I'm being conservative in these channels. So, we're trying to improve it all the time and get better with it. But people are making money. There's, people constantly talking in degen chat here about making money, and it's working out for them. So let's move on from that. We'll talk about what the market looks like currently, and what I'm seeing as far as the Nansen on-chain data is that the short-term plays, there's about 29 to 30% of all altcoins that are still bullish short-term, although that's dipped a little bit. It hit about 31%. Now it's down to 29 since the end of last year into this year. And so there's a little bit of chop. We're seeing that a lot of people made money on that first alt push. It was kind of like a mini alt season in a way, from October, was it October and November, something like that, to the end of December. Actually, the 1st of December, right around the 9th or 10th, we were talking about a top was coming in. So right around that time, that's when all these alts were pushing up. And so you've got some other ones here that are catching up. These are longer term time frames, like 90-day, 100-day cross over a 360-day. So if you're thinking about a moving average, and I'll show you here in a second what I mean, but if you're thinking about a moving average crossing over a 360-day moving average, here's the 90-day, here's the 180-day, and here's the 30-day. So the 30-day reacts much more quickly, and that's why currently we have about 30% of all CoinGecko alts that are still bullish short term, even though there's a lot of chop right now. And here's what it looks like visually. You can see this purple line here is curling down. That is the 30-day. That's the short term that reacts much more quickly. And we can see a couple times back in, historically when Bitcoin first started getting bullish, during this bull run, this macro bull run. And then, this purple line started to, slow down a bit, and then it curled down. And then there was another big move. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. We're just consolidating. And so what you'll probably see is this, the short-term tokens that are bullish right now, they'll probably dip a little bit more, touch that blue line, and then we'll be ready to go again. I don't know what that timing would look like, maybe by the middle to the end of January, possibly. But a lot of people are saying, oh, well, things have turned back up and we're bullish again. And it's possible. We could just be ready to go again. But the thing we're going to look for is if we get a break above 100K Bitcoin. I think that would be the line in the sand. If we continue to reject under there, then there needs to be more reset of sentiment. People need to get flushed out of their positions, and then we'll be ready to move up again. But I do believe it's coming, by the way. It's, the top is not in my opinion. So as far as the top goes, finding the top, these are some of the tools we're going to use, and the ones that we use in our Discord as well. Every time that the top has come in, it's hit this red area, or at the very least, it's come up here and hit this 6 on the MVRV Z-score. So every single time this has shown a top, and if you even want to do a trend line here, somewhere between 5 and 6 at the least, the most conservative view is where the top would be, but it could still, come up here into the 6 range. So we haven't really seen that big move yet, even though a lot of people say that, the top is in. I don't believe it's in. We can also use Master, what's the name of it? MicroStrategy Incorporated, MSTR. We can use that as a way to find the top as well. So here we're looking at the 3-day on Master versus the weekly on Bitcoin, which the weekly, the reason I'm using it is from 2020 to the top of the market, it was really clean. There wasn't a bunch of different buy-sell signals. If I go down to like the 3-day, and I'm using, this is Engineering Robo AI, by the way. You can find it in the description below as well if you're interested in it. And actually, I take that back. 3-day does look okay on this. So, what I'm looking for, I don't want to see something like this to find a top. I want to look at the macro. So if I get a bunch of signals, which Engineering Robo does a really good job getting you in and out and saving you money to where you don't round trip. But I like to go to a higher time frame to find the actual top for the market. So here was 2020 to 2021, really clean, buy signal, sell signal. Of course, we had that, that one more dip before the final pump, and it gave you the sell signal on that as well. But my point here is that if currently we're looking at this, we do still have a buy signal. And I think that's why I was on the weekly, by the way. It's because this one, gave a bunch of different buy sell signals as price went sideways back here. But it did do a good job of getting you out, right? I mean, you had this kept going down, you would have been happy to take that even on a 3-day chart. So if we step up to the weekly, we clearly have a buy signal still. And what we want to look for is, can MSTR, can MicroStrategy help us to get out a little bit earlier anyway? And here we're looking at the 3-day. This is 2021. MicroStrategy would have gotten you out about right here instead of here. So yes, that did work. Here's the secondary sell signal. And yes, it would have gotten you out a little bit sooner. So Engineering Robo works real well, using other methods to try to find tops. We may look at Bitcoin dominance or, other methods in our Discord, but I think this does a pretty good job here. So if we're looking at current MicroStrategy signal, it's still a buy signal. So there's no, I don't believe the top's in. In fact, this looks like a bull flag to me. Could it come down a little bit more? Sure. But then once it finds its bottom, I think we'll be ready to move back up. And again, we need to get back above that 100K level, which we're pretty close to right now, aren't we? But we need a full candle to close above there, at least a daily candle. And then we'll feel like we can, get moving up again. And I get it. I mean, I understand why people are saying, like if we put a line right here at 100K, the reason why there's some people out there saying that this is the top is because this is a typical move by Bitcoin. It gets above, it falls back below, and then it rejects. So if you're talking about max pain or max fear, I guess is a better way to put it, the people manipulating price could bring it down a little bit more to scare people. And then once enough people are out, then they'll push it back up. So I don't know if it's ready to move up now or if we might have a little bit more of a, slight short-term downtrend. Could even happen into early February. I don't know. I'm hoping by mid-January to the end of January, we get moving again, but we'll see. Nobody really knows the short-term, outcome of this. So this is something that I posted to our Discord and actually to Twitter as well prior to the dip. So when was this? This is about the 15th of December. So on the 10th or the 11th right here, when I thought the top was coming in, when it was close, I said, are alts going to pull back into the full moon? Is Bitcoin going to pump into the full moon? So yeah, that's exactly what happened. Alts had put in a lower high while Bitcoin was putting in a higher high. So that told us that it looked like alts were correcting ahead of Bitcoin. And that does happen a lot, by the way, just for future reference, if you want to watch that. Currently, they're mirroring each other pretty well. I think it's clear. What is this number? Yeah, so this is really close. We're just using a line chart here instead of using, I didn't want to use candlesticks because, the wicks show up and everything. But see this peak right here is right about 100K. So if this creates a lower high here, then it probably means we need one more dip. And my likely bottom anyway is from like 87 to 89. And, you may ask, well, could it get all the way down to previous levels here? And the orange one here is Bitcoin. Could it get down here to retest this breakout of this, this peak here at 73,000? Which is somewhere around here anyway, around 72, 73. Let me get rid of this one real quick. Okay. I'll turn off the moon phases as well. So, your first bottom that's likely, that I think is probably going to happen, is there, if it even happens. But there is a secondary option here, of course, 71 to 75K, something like that. I really don't think this is going to happen, but, just putting it out there that it could. Because if you think about it, I mean, for me, this mimics what happened way back here. I mean, it looks very much like this. So this is really what I'm expecting, is this to hold. But sometimes what you get is the market makers will do something like this, where they bring it down and make it look like a head and shoulders is about to happen. And then, people think it's just going to dump, but then instead it takes off. I know that's not, it's not the greatest illustration, but, these are the two areas. If we lose 87K, then I'll say, yeah, this is definitely possible. But, there's a support area right here. It's right around 87.2 or something. So, that's where I got this box from. If you look over here on the left shoulder, there's a little shoulder that was created. Same exact shoulder that was created back here. Kind of right in this area. And actually, this didn't even get down into that shoulder. It front ran it. So if you were to put a line here, even at the top of this, it actually didn't even dip into that. So if we go back up and look at that, then that would have been about right here. and this would have front ran it just like it did back there. So either we're done and we're ready to move up, or there's one more little dip left, in my opinion. I mean, I just don't know what's going to happen short term, but I do feel like we're not done with this cycle. I will say that. So that's all we're looking at, is, you know, looking forward to the macro view, not the short term. We don't care about the short term so much because that can fake you out. And part of the reason why I think the top's not in, or the top's not in yet, is because here we have, if we're looking at engineering robo, let me bring this up. Here we have a clear sell signal after a rejection at, you know, this trend line at the top here. And this was created from all of this action. And then you got the lower trend line here, and it creates a triangle. So clear AI sell signal, and that's on a weekly chart. That means it's very strong. And it's a lower high as well, right? So you got a lower high there. And the target for this would be somewhere, I don't know, it could be, you know, 43 to 45, something like that. There's a lot of different, let's see here. I would say 43 to 44 maybe. I mean, we could include 45. So that's what we'd be looking at, is if this started coming down here, which it's not going to come straight down. Usually what you get is some kind of, you get some kind of 50% retracement here. And then, you know, maybe it comes up here and just bounces around a little bit and does that. And then that would be the end of it. Actually, that's completely wrong. Hang on, because the timing's off on that. I wanted to make a point of the timing as well. Okay. Yeah, so something like that. I mean, I just want to make the point that based on this timing, a lot of people think that October 2025 can't happen, that March is just going to be the top and that's it. I do think that there is going to be a local top, like a minor, a major, local top, whatever you want to call it. But I do believe that there is a possibility still that we extend all the way to October 2025, September, October, or something like that, because the timing says that we can. And I'm going to show you that here in just a second on a chart. You're going to want to watch that. So Bitcoin dominance, we want it to come down, definitely. That's good for alts. We're going to look at ETH here in a minute and show how that's, once that gets going again, that's good for alts as well. So all this is going to come together to show you the full picture. And I think it'll make you feel much more comfortable with where we're at in the market right now. I'm not one of these people that's going to go on the, you know, in the YouTube title and put a bunch of keywords that are going to get you fearful just so you click. That's not what this is about for me. I want to show you the truth of what I'm seeing, and I'm not going to mislead you. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm thinking and not use some kind of clickbait just in hopes that you watch the video. I don't care about that. You know, if you find your way here, that's good. If not, you know, maybe that person will miss out that doesn't watch it. That's fine with me. You know, I just want the people here that want to be here. So, yeah, I mean, this is what we're looking at, and the reason why this is important is because this was a huge altcoin bull run, uptrend, and that happened from, you know, that was the March 2020 dip, right? So March 2020 happened, alts went on a massive run all the way to, what was it, May, and then it had another dip, and then it had another run into November, right here. Well, somewhere in here, October, November. So that's kind of what I would expect here, but we'll see. Anyway, this is good news, is my point. You know, after a massive move up for Bitcoin dominance, now it's finally starting to show some weakness. And here's USDT dominance, same thing. We want USDT dominance to go down because that means people are taking their USDT and purchasing alts with it. And that's what we're seeing here currently. This is just a different view. There's like a midline here. It's clearly in a downtrend. Only thing we don't want to see is it get back above here. So as long as it stays roughly below, I don't know, 4.5%, something like that, then it's fine. Okay, total 3 versus Bitcoin. Yeah, I think we'll go through this one first. Okay, so total 3, of course, is all of the altcoins minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. And hang on one second, I'm getting a phone call. Give me one second. Oh, never mind, they stopped calling. So the thing that I want to make clear on this is, and let me get rid of this real quick. Okay, so I'm going to show you timing and I'm going to show you levels where typically it hits, typically where Bitcoin hits. So I'm pulling fibs from top to bottom. I'm on the log chart, by the way. This is from 2019. This is the 1618. You can see right there, 1618. And Bitcoin typically gets just barely above it and then drops back below it. And so that's the target that it hit exactly in 2021, actually twice in 2021. And so, forget this fib line. You don't need this fib line right now because I've got it drawn for you there. And now we're going to pull from this top down to here. And now you've got the 2022 bottom, 1618, which is about 173,000. I'm not saying it has to hit this. It could either come up short or it could get over it. I mean, some people think we could hit 200K, and I think it is possible, but this is actually the first top. If there is going to be a second top in 2025, like we had in 2021, then this would be the first one. Anywhere from like 150K to 175K-ish would be the one that we would see in like March or April, I believe. We'll have to see how it plays out. I can't predict the future, but I'm just going by math here. Fib lines are math. So that's what we're looking here. And then on the timing side of it, if we pull from the very bottom to the very top, it's about 1,071 days. And then we're going to pull from the very bottom to 1,071 days right here. And look where that puts us. October 6, 2025. So it's going to be really interesting to me to see how this plays out, if the timing actually plays out. Now, is it possible that we still hit this 1618 of 170K or whatever, but it really takes another, how long would that be? Well, anyway, from here to October, sure, it could happen. We could just dip here for a while, go up, sideways, up. I mean, I know I got off my timing there, but you see what I mean. If I shifted that there, then it would look something like that. So, something like this is still possible where we're not just going to blast off all of a sudden. This just remember around March, April, before summertime, typically there is a summertime lull where, kind of like it happened back here in 2021, where nobody's really trading much. They're out on vacation, whatever. So anyway, that's the idea for that. This is the 2019 1.272 to 1618 level from here on total 3. It doesn't work out exactly, perfectly for a 1618 hit on this, so I'm just saying 1272 to 1618 because here's the 1272, here's the 1618. So somewhere in that range is where it hits. And if we pull, let me get rid of this. If we pull from top to bottom on this as well, then 2.67 is roughly it's somewhere between 166 and 267. I would suspect it's probably going to be closer to the 1618 in this case, though. So 267 is about where I would be looking at for that first top to be in, or maybe even the final top. We'll see. Wonder how much of a move this was from the bottom. So if we go to here and then we pull this to 267, where was it? Somewhere in there. Yeah, so it's about half the move that's already happened. Or if we do this, I haven't actually looked at this before. Let me just see what. If this was another 154. I think it would be higher than that. So we'll see how it plays out. Mostly we're going to be going by the Bitcoin timing though. So let's talk about Ethereum, and then I'm going to show you some tokens that look like they're in a pretty good position for accumulation based on what the chart's showing us. So Ethereum, of course, if we want to see our, especially ETH chain alts to move up, and really all the alts are going to go up together if the ETH chain alts start to go, here we are, always start at your highest time frame that you can. And we look here, and if we just want to put some lines together on the chart, I think that's pretty close. We're connecting the wicks there, and then maybe we connect the bottom wicks here. Something like that. Anyway, it's pretty close. Doesn't have to be exact. So, maybe this is some kind of little triangle that still has to work itself out, and that eventually ETH breaks above. But what we're going to be watching for is ETH really needs to get back above that 4K mark for it to get bullish again. But everything seems to be trending up. I mean, look here at MACD. The line, the fast line, the blue line is above the orange line, the red line, whatever you want to call it. Your histogram is trending up. So this is on the weekly, or the monthly, sorry. If we go down to the weekly, yeah, we're still trending up on weekly, although the histogram is dipping a little bit. It's probably just going to have this blue line touch the orange line, then it'll be ready to move again. So I guess my point is, this just needs to play out a little bit more, it seems like. I mean, this could even be inverted head and shoulders already. So, is this an inverted head and shoulders? Possibly. And then our neckline target would be about the TP2 there. That would be the first target anyway. So this is what we're waiting for. We want to see if if things get bullish again. If we look, I didn't bring this up, but if we looked at the ETH BTC chart, our inverted head and shoulders target from back here in 2019, it hit in 2021. I wonder if there's another one. Let me invert the scale here. Our 786 line is something that I had, oh yeah, the 618. So in between this area, I thought that, well, let me uninvert it first. So this is where I thought that our support could hit, somewhere in between these two lines, and I was just pulling the fib from bottom to top. I must have done that on a regular. Let me see if I was on regular. I don't know where I pulled that from exactly. Maybe I must have pulled it from up here. Anyway, let me go back to log. Okay, so yeah, this is where I was looking for support to hold. We're starting to get some wicks here down at the bottom. This was the inverted head and shoulders, the previous one. The neckline is right here at the 618. So it's very unlikely that we're going to drop below the 786. And remember, on an ETH BTC chart, if things start to turn back up, then that means the ETH USDT pair is already, having a really good move, which we've already seen. It's already been doing pretty well. It's been trending up. Let me just see what the MACD would show on something like this. I'm curious. Yeah, it seems the histogram is starting to taper up, but it's going to take it a little bit longer, I believe. See what the daily is showing us. Yeah, I mean, there's a pretty good trend coming up, so I think we have found the bottom on this one. We'll just go back to the weekly here. So we have found the bottom most likely. And if I invert the chart, I'm just seeing if there's any inverted head and shoulder type pattern or anything. To me, this looks a lot like the Bitcoin dominance chart, actually. What are we showing on the engineering robo? It's still bearish. Let me turn this around. Okay. So as soon as this gives a bullish signal, has the daily given? Okay, so the daily is starting to find some support here, and it's tightening up. Might even be there's some kind of triangle going on there as well. I don't know exactly where it's at. Something like that. So yeah, I mean, this is going to break out eventually, I believe. We're not too far from it. In fact, that's a higher low. Let's see, higher low. Okay, so yeah, this created a higher low. That's a bullish divergence right there on the daily or the 2-day. Did any of these other ones show one? Yeah. Yeah, so I think we're just in the beginning stages of BTC starting to turn around. All right, let me go here into some of these tokens and just give me 1 second here. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so let's see. SNSY is one that we called way down here at the buy zone. We did about a 10x move on it. There is a chance that this is a lower high, so don't be fooled that maybe this thing's just ready to take off again. MACD would tell you that it possibly is. I just think you need more information here because it is hitting a level that it could reject from right there. So we did talk about in a previous video, at least in our Discord, I might have put this also on YouTube, that this box was going to be a place to reaccumulate, and it has been so far. I'm not saying this thing is just going to reject here and come back down. I don't know that it is, but it could. TP1 would be a place to accumulate more, but it's such a new token. This could be a cup and handle that's happening even. It's such a new token that we don't have enough history to go by. So all we can really do is go by what Engineering Robo is telling us. And currently there is a sell signal in the daily. And if you want Engineering Robo, it's down in the description below. There's a discount code and everything. But you want the Engineering Robo AI version. That's what I'm showing here. So, in this case, we're on the daily. In this case, you would have exited here, even though it pumped. You would have still remained exited. And let's just say if it came back down here and then finally gave a buy signal, you just jump back in. But what you're trying to save yourself from is in case it keeps coming down here like this and then starts to move up. So you save yourself some money that way by using indicator packages like this. And I do believe it's the best one on TradingView, by the way. I've used it for many years. And this is the new version. So TITANX, this one does seem to be creating a bullish divergence. Price is coming down, MACD is coming up. Engineering Robo is still showing a sell signal though. So in this case, you wouldn't be in just yet if you were using Engineering Robo. You'd wait for a true signal. But, it's clear. I drew these boxes ahead of time for the Discord members, and I said, if it gets into this box, it may pump out of it. But again, it really depends on Bitcoin. But had you bought it down here where we were buying, and then you used Engineering Robo, you would have been out right there and saved yourself all this downtrend. And now you're just waiting on another buy signal, right? It's really low stress trading. But as long as this is above the bullish line, you're good. If it was to come back down to support, this would be a great place to buy. And sometimes that does happen, by the way, where the neckline of this area right here where it broke out, sometimes they do come all the way back down to retest that. BOSON, this one looks really good too. This one's putting in a bullish divergence on the histogram on MACD. It could be turning up. The thing to know about MACD is it's kind of like RSI. If it's below the 50 level, like down here where it's the red candles, this is bearish anytime it's down in this section. Just imagine there's a midline right here, just like RSI. And then here for, the green candles above. So if you're just using this 0 line right here, anything above when it's a green candle, this is a very bullish area. So you can see when this broke down through this area, it got even more bearish. But MACD is very easy to use if you stick to the rules. You could have bought here on the cross, you could have sold here on the cross down, and you wouldn't have had to hold through all this. But if you want to use something like an Engineering Robo alert that'll keep you in, sometimes it'll get you in earlier than the MACD, sometimes it'll get you in later. But the main thing it's trying to do is keep you out of a long downtrend. Because there's a lot of chop to something like a MACD here. And this is what I mean. See how you were below the midline for a long time here? And Engineering Robo kept you out of all of that to where you didn't have to keep jumping in and out, this has hit the box that I said that it could hit. I'm not saying that it can't come below the bullish line here. It could. In fact, I need to move the support up to here probably. So, could it come down to support one more time? Sure. But we'll just have to see, Engineering Robo either has to give us a buy signal or we have to start seeing the MACD turn back above the midline there to where we know it's very bullish. OPUL is one that I've talked a lot about. It's already given us that cross up actually. It's technically still bearish because it's below that midline, but it did hit this box perfectly that I talked about previously, and it's holding this trend line. So hopefully it gets moving. Some of these have their own timing. I mean, just because Bitcoin's going down or alts in general are going down. Some can still go up. I don't know that that's the case here. I hope that it does. But I would be watching this trend line. I would be watching for it to hold this box, or for MACD to continue to trend up. This is Fluence FLT. Currently, the AI Social Intelligence Score for Engineering Robo says it's a red 4, which is not ideal. I mean, you really want it to at least be a green 3 to feel like it's turning up. MACD is kind of sideways. There is a sell signal, so you're probably not interested in it, but it is holding the trend line so far. If it was to come back down to support, that would be a good place to buy. Currently, it is holding this box, though, and it's holding above the bullish line. QUIL is an example of one that Engineering Robo would have saved you a lot of stress and a lot of money. Had you been one of these people that was accumulating QUIL all through here, even here on the buy signal, you probably would have broke about even right here if you would have bought this and then sold it again when Engineering Robo told you to. But look how this trend line and Engineering Robo, I drew the trend line, by the way. Engineering Robo is telling you it's not time to buy yet. So, I mean, this one could even come down even lower. I hold a little bit of it thinking it was going to hold that support line. I should have sold it as soon as it got below that support line, but I forgot to. So either you're looking for a break above, or you're looking for MACD to start turning back up, or if you have Engineering Robo AI, you're waiting for a buy signal. This is PREDO. This is an example of one of the high conviction alerts. I'll show you here. So we've got a high conviction alert bot and another one that I'm going to set up for socials. And you can find plays that are just launching that you can make a quick gain on. And I teach how to use MACD to find these plays, or I teach you how to use MACD once these plays are found, and how to weed out the ones that aren't ready to move yet, and how to wait for a support level to buy that will lower your risk. And I'm going to show you that here. So in high conviction alerts, our first alert came in right here. And what I teach in our group is, if this MACD is trending down, there's no reason for you to be getting into this yet, because you need this blue line to cross above the red one. And even though the signal came in, it doesn't mean just to blindly enter. We don't do that. We wait for support levels to hit. And so as this came down, it was getting near some support here. This is what you were looking at the time. We got another signal right at the bottom. And at that point, MACD started to turn up. And so as it started to kind of consolidate sideways, it eventually got very bullish. It got back above the MACD right here. And so I also teach that, you need to go to the higher time frames as this plays out. So maybe you would have entered here and you're up a little bit already. You're up almost a 2x right there. And then it comes down and touches your support one more time, and then it blasts off. But going up to higher time frames here will give you even more information. Of course, you would have had to wait. You'd have to wait for longer. But notice how this was in a downtrend. First, it started in an uptrend, but then it could have gotten you out right here because of the cross down. Or if you're still on the 1 minute and you were waiting on a big pump, to make money, and maybe you bought there and then you sold because of this cross down right there. So anywhere in here you would have sold. And these are some of the things that we teach. And you would have made about 150% gain, which I called this in Twitter. I called it in our group. I called it on Twitter, to help people out that maybe don't have money to join our group. And I told them, this thing's hit 150% gain, just to kind of alert them. And it was up to them whether to take profits or not. I didn't say to take profits. I was just alerting that it hit 150%. We had another one that hit 500% that I posted on Twitter as well before the move. So I'm just showing that not only is it working in Discord, but I'm posting some on Twitter as well to everybody. And you're seeing this work. So if you want to join our Discord and get more of these alerts, then that's what you want to do. Okay, let's jump into Nansen real quick. I know this is a long video. In fact, I wonder if I should make this a second video. Anyway, we'll just keep it going. Let's just see here if there are any tokens here that are on the ETH chain that look like they're starting to turn up. And the good news is, the good news is with Nansen, give me 1 second, my voice is kind of going. Okay. So there's some really nice tools here, and you just have to decide what you want to use with Nansen, because there's so many tools, there's so many areas of it that could be helpful to you, but you got to decide as a short-term trader, you know, that's just looking for brand new tokens that have launched, or if you're a long-term trader that's looking for something that's being accumulated, you're completely covered. You know, Nansen's got you covered on all sides with that. So we're looking here. These are all tokens that Smart Money is currently trading. These are all caps. You can sort it by many different caps here. And we're looking at 24-hour flows to see what Smart Money is most interested in right now. So we've got SIN. It's up about 5% over the last 24 hours. Here's RAI. It's down 13%. So the reason for that, even though there's inflows coming in, is because Smart Money is seeing support levels come in for these. That's usually what's going to be happening. And they're saying, okay, since this support level's coming in, I think I'm interested in maybe buying here. Let's see how many we've got. This actually tells you how many, well, number one tells you the token age, how many days it's been active, the market cap. It shows you how many traders, smart traders are involved in it. So maybe you want to find something that's newer that not many traders are in yet. Well, you'd want to look at the token age. I mean, it's better to sort by 24-hour flows, but you want to look at the token age. Here's one that's only 2 days old. There's 9 Smart Money traders in it. The name of it's Fusion. It's up 100%. So there you go. But if you want to look at those specifically, then you go down to microcaps. And I'm surprised that Fusion's not actually showing up here on the first page. Maybe it's a higher cap now. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find it. Well, this tends to happen. There we go. I was going to say this tends to happen while I'm trying to record something. I don't know why that one's not showing up. That's weird. So on all caps, it shows up right here. Oh, that's why. Because I had opened up this page previously, and now it's off the page again. Okay, so here's a brand new token. Token age 0, 7 Smart Money traders in it. Karopi, it's up 100%. In fact, we can look at it. I can show you a quicker way to find these brand new plays, though. Really what I wanted to show you is long-term plays. So we've definitely got some wallets that are in here. I'm going to copy the deal there. I can actually go to Dex Screener. I go to GMGN a lot on these. And we'll just see what it's done. I mean, typically on yeah, this looks like a topping pattern to me. You probably wouldn't want to be in this one right now, but I wonder, I'm actually curious if we got this on some of these. Oh, you know what? This isn't a Solana. A lot of the ones that we cover in our DGen plays are Solana plays. But, you know, you could have gotten in way down here, I'm sure. Hang on, let me grab the contract address. And I'm just curious about this. I don't think this one would have shown up. Yeah, because we weren't watching ETH in this case. But, you know, if you would have gotten in down here, this would have been a great place to take profit, I'm sure. And I'm going to show you on MACD. Yeah, see how you got to curl up there, and then you had to cross down here, so you were out, and now you're just waiting to see if you get another curl up. But it could come all the way back down to here at this previous resistance area before it's ready to move up again. Just understand that these can dip a lot more than you think they can, you know, once they find a top. So just wait for those areas to enter. Okay, so yeah, we're just looking for long-term plays here real quick. So we're going to look at large cap. Well, personally, I like to look at mid or small caps, 1 million to 50 million. So here's some inflows for kerosene. It's up 10%. Here's VSG. It's down 5%. But these are kind of the market caps that I like to look at. I know a lot of you probably know Bob, Root, Ebel is one that's kind of familiar. But this is what you can do every day. You can come in here and look at it. And then you can also come down here and see what Smart Money are holding. So let's see. Balance change last 24 hours. So there's 5 times more people or Smart Money that have accumulated Shiro over the last, 24 hours? Yeah. There's currently 3 holders, market cap's 143 million. A lot of information here for you. Let's see, OLOS is another one down there. Well, it's not up much, is it? So we can pull up, yeah, you're seeing an increase here, which is good. You want to see people buying, and we can bring this one up on Deck Screener as well and just see if maybe there is a support level that it's hitting. And this is my workflow, just so you know, you can use this for yourself as well. Maybe this will help you. So here we've got, it's creating lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. This is actually still a lower high. But this is a brand new token, it's gonna be more risky. But apparently some smart money are interested in this one. What you can do is you can pull your fib from the bottom to the top of that wick right there, right here. And I teach this in our group as well. And what you wanna wait for, sometimes the 786 is a support area, but you're probably not interested in this one unless it gets back above that 786. I mean, this is showing a lot of weakness right now. So for me, I wouldn't be buying this one currently. Okay, what else do I want to show you? Yeah, if you're looking for short-term plays, all you have to do is this. You go to token tab here, and you can go by what smart money's buying over the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 days, 7 days, 24 hours. You're getting a lot of information here. And a lot of these tokens are going to show up in our group, as new tokens that we're possibly interested in, because we want to get in as cheap as we can, although they're very risky. But we just use the MACD, and we buy if MACD is bullish, we sell if MACD is bearish, and we make money that way. I mean, sometimes they're really quick plays. Let's see. So last 5 minutes, these are the only tokens that are showing a lot of volume from smart money. I think that's about all I wanted to show you. I was just going to see if there's any ETH tokens that that were maybe ready to go. Here's some that are showing up that are brand new. See, there's a ton of smart money that have jumped into these plays right here. Let's just look at them in real time. Let me copy the address. I'm going to bring these up on GMGN. Oh wait, this is ETH, isn't it? Oh, we'll keep it to DEX. On GMGN, I usually look at Solana, chain only. Well, I may have to on this one. Oh, this is a Solana, okay, my fault. So I'm gonna paste this in. There it is right there. And let's just see, I'm actually curious in real time. I wanna see if our Discord bot found this. And it did. So 1242. So there you go. I showed you in real time. I didn't plan any of this, by the way. I showed you in real time. Our signal was right here. You would have made about 200% if you sold the top, of course. I mean, even if you sold just anywhere in here, you made a 2x. So this works. I mean, it definitely works. Look, there's your MACD cross down. You probably would have had to been like even on a 30-second chart, which I really don't recommend. But you can see on a 30-second chart, we were above the midline. It's clearly bullish. It continues to move up. The trend was up, and then the trend started coming down. You had a lower high right there. So higher highs and higher lows turned into lower highs, lower lows. And then once it got below this midline, then it was very bearish. And then it won't be bullish again until it clearly starts creating another uptrend. And it could get moving again. So sometimes we find them way down here very cheaply, and sometimes we find them about the middle of their move, and we still make money. But I just wanted to show that in real time. I didn't really expect one way or the other that our signal channel was going to show something, but it actually did, and it's right there. It shows at 19.76 million market cap. It gives you the contract address, and that's exactly where it was right there, kind of right in this area, and then it pumped for you. So that's a real-time example. So if you like those type of plays, if you want to get in early, you really need to join our group. Okay, I'm going to end it there. That shows you how to use Nansen to find these plays, either long-term or short-term. I'd really like to find some of these that maybe smart money is accumulating. but there's really not much happening right now as far as the Ethereum chain. But I do believe once Ethereum gets going again, you're going to see a lot of this turn into Ethereum, purchases from smart money. Okay, well, we'll do another one soon. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Hit a like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and we'll do another one next week. Bye.